What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series, Wave 14 as I'm going to call it. It seems like the G.I. Joe team has kind of given up on doing waves, but we just have a bunch of figures that I'm doing here all together as the next wave. So in this wave we have Tunnel Rat, Firefly, so cool to get just a normal Firefly, and a Crimson Viper, so we've had multiple of those, just the Crimson version this time. And then behind those we have some more figures, so we have Low Light, which looks pretty cool, Grunt, which is just like a basic guy, and then we have Tripwire that comes with Aspera and a McLeod, which is pretty cool, just like a bomb guy, so that'll be cool with all the additional accessories. This is more of a deluxe, but didn't know where to do them, so we're just going to throw them in here with the rest of the figures. So all of these look pretty cool. The only figure I'm not excited about is the Crimson Viper, just because we've had so many Viper characters, so not excited about that. But I am excited for Firefly, even though we've already had him, just because it's getting, the basic version of Firefly, so he'll look pretty cool as well. So I'm excited to check out all these figures, so let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Tunnel Rat, whose real name is Nicky Lee, and he was a Trinidadian Chinese from Brooklyn, New York. He was a scrappy little fighter that believes anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and earned his code name by always volunteering for tunnel missions, and he specializes in explosive ordnance disposal. So he looks pretty cool here. So his name is Tunnel Rat, which you don't really see much like tunnel rattiness to him, except for the little logo there on his arm where he has the Tunnel Rat name, and then the picture of the rat holding like a flashlight or whatever. So that's pretty fun. So we have his face there, and he does have these markings all over him. I don't know what they're supposed to be, if they're like tattoos or what the deal is, but he just has these black markings all over his arms and then on his face there. So it looks pretty decent. And then he has like this bandana or whatever on his head, to help pull his hair down. So that looks pretty nice and a decent looking face. Then he has another bandana around his neck, so that's kind of already on him with the green shirt. So it makes him look like very Boy Scoutish to me with that color of shirt and the bandana and stuff. So it just looks kind of weird. And then he has this holster up around his shoulders where of course has the weird communicator, whatever the thing the Joes have there, with a holster on it that goes around to the back, so a nice strap there, and then a bandolier as well that's already on him. And of course all this keeps like falling down and flopping around and stuff, so getting it to all sit perfect is a bit of a task. But then going down, he has like these darker gray pants, so look pretty decent with the knee pads, and then he does have these thigh holsters around there on his legs, so with all sorts of pockets and a holster for that side, some gray gloves with some bands there around his wrist, all the way down to just some brown boots there, so nice for crawling around in a tunnel. So I think he looks pretty nice, like the color pops with the like greenish of the shirt and stuff, just it doesn't really seem to be all too fancy to me. So let's do his movement. So his head will twist all the way around, and you can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent movements there in the head together. We get the shoulders that come up to 90 with the butterfly joint that doesn't really move too much, just a little bit back and forth, but it does have the joint that'll rotate around. We get a bicep twist that'll twist around, and the double elbow joint that bends up that far at least, so not too bad for him, with the wrist that'll twist around, and this has the hinge up and down hand. Then we go to the ab crunch, so you see that cut out there in the middle. So crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty decent crunching. Then we get a twist all the way around at the waist for him. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. Can pretty much do a split, so out pretty far there. And then a thigh twist that'll twist all the way around. We get the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back. It's not too bad, almost kicking his butt. And then there is an ankle twist, so it's down in the pants leg there, so down at the boot, so it can twist all the way around. And then we get the foot itself that can rock back and forth. So because the pants leg, it doesn't really rock back and forth too much, so a little bit back and forth because it's hitting, and then can twist side to side as well. So decent movements, and we'll pretty much see a lot of these exact same movements over and over again today. Now accessory wise, I guess we'll start from the top down. So we get a set of night vision goggles, so I guess they look pretty cool. It's weird that there's 4 like lenses or whatever, so I don't really know why he has 4, but I think they look pretty cool, I guess, and has a nice strap design that can go over his head, and with that bandana makes it smooth, so should be relatively easy to get on him. So there's the night vision goggles on him, so I think that looks pretty decent. Like I said, it's weird with the 4 lenses, but it still looks pretty decent, especially for crawling in a tunnel. We do get another thing that goes on his shoulder, so we get a bag here, so a bag accessory that we can put around. So I think it kind of goes around on this side, at least that's how it's pictured, so it can slide around there like that. So another item to put around his shoulder, so he's just got so much stuff on him there, it looked kind of crazy. Then we start moving to weapons. So first we get a revolver, so nice little revolver here with a brown handle and black barrel, with again the revolver design stuff, so it looks pretty cool. Now this can go into the holster here right on his chest, so he always has it there along with that canister, so it's always nice and ready there. And then he also comes with a knife, so big nice knife here with the silver blade black handle. Looks pretty decent, and this can go into his thigh holster over here, so that's down there. He does also come with some flashlights, so we get these 2 flashlights, like old school flashlight designs. I love how they have the green in there, so as those you can put in each of his hands to shine around. But of course with this we also get a backpack, so we have a nice green backpack here, and it has slots up top here that we can stick the flashlights in as well, so they just stick in the backpack like that, and then once we put it on his back they'll be shining up over his shoulder, so I guess that works as well. So you just got to get this into his back, and of course with all those straps around him it kind of makes it difficult, you know, puts more distance between the hole in his back there, so it doesn't really stick on the best, I would say, but at least we get it on there. So like I said, the flashlights are now shining up over his shoulders. And then finally comes with his main gun of a machine gun. So I don't know guns very well, but a nice big gun. We've had one just like this before, but it's gonna got a nice big scope on top. Of course the canister of ammunition there, they look all nice and silver, and you can remove that if you want. And then I know up front here we have a bipod system, so the little things that'll fold down there, so it looks pretty nice overall. I love the green color and everything thrown into it. So let's go and put this into his hand. So there's the gun in Tunnel Rat's hand. I wish they designed these a little bit more because they're way too big, so you can see it's hard to like fit into his hands in general. And then like the gun is so thick, like trying to get this hand around this part here is just really hard because it's just so thick, so trying to get that is quite difficult. But I do have it in there and it does fit, so I guess it works out. I just wish they were a little bit skinnier sort of guns to work a little bit better. But there's Tunnel Rat all kitted out with all his accessories. Of course he's completely kitted, so I don't know how he's going to fit into tunnels very well with all the stuff he's got, but I think he looks pretty cool. I wish like his backpack stored some more stuff. All it really holds are those flashlights there, so I wish it could hold more guns or whatever, but I think he overall looks pretty cool, so it's awesome to have Tunnel Rat. And next up we have Firefly, and it's unknown what his real name or background is, but he has a specialty in stealth and infiltration, and his work in explosives is legendary. Cobra pays him a fee in advance to a Swiss bank account, and there are no refunds. And he looks cool here, and we have had Firefly before, so it's nice to just get a basic Firefly, because I think that was like a Cobra Island one, whatever, one of those Target exclusive from early in the G.I. Joes. But overall I think he looks pretty cool with the gray camo, just the gray camo all over from head to toe. So he has the balaclava in the gray camo, so covering his face. It doesn't seem as damaged as the other one did, and I'll show you that comparison, but like just what you see around his eyes doesn't seem as damaged as that other one. And then he's got a dark gray shirt underneath with the gray camo like outfit or jumpsuit, whatever he's got going on here. Cobra logo there on his bicep, has some guards here on his forearm, so those on each side with the holster on this side. Of course all sorts of straps here around his chest, so with pockets and grenades and all sorts of stuff around there, as well as the belt where he's got some extra grenades, a thigh holster there going into the thigh, and a padding on this other side, and then down to the boots where he's got the gray boots and gray knee pads there as well. So a lot of gray colors going on here, but I think he looks pretty cool. So for movements, get the head that'll twist all the way around and can look down that far and up that far. So it looked like his neck twisted with it, so it may limit some of his neck got twisted around there as well. But yeah, just looks up and down that far. And then we go to the shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly. So it seems like a little bit better range than Tunnel Rat, and rotate around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that I think is pretty stiff on him, but it can bend that far up, so pretty good, almost all the way up on itself, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge up and down for this hand. Feels a little stuck, but it does hinge up and down there. Then we get the ab crunch in the middle, so he has the cutout there, so crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty decent. And then crunch at the waist as well with twisting around. Then we go to the hips that'll come up to 90 and out to the side again, can do the splits with those drop down hips. Then we get the thigh twist that'll twist around, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty much the same movements as before, and again, we'll see a lot of those through this. But going to his accessories first, just like Tunnel Rat, we do get a set of goggles with like night vision and stuff, so it looks pretty cool. I love like the green honeycomb design on there, red on the other side, so that looks awesome. So with this, we can take and just slide it onto his head. So there he's now ready for night operations, it looks like, so that's pretty cool. It just adds a more like buggy design to him. Then we also get his backpack, so here's his design. Looks pretty different. We haven't really seen one like this before, but you can see like all the different grenades and stuff going on there, so it looks pretty cool. So with this, we can pop this into his back, so it sticks off from there like that. And then we go to some of his weapons. So first we get a knife, so we have this all black knife, so blade doesn't look too intimidating, but just the all black knife there that can go into the sheath here on his forearm, so it just slides right inside there. And then we do also get a pistol as well, so we have this pistol, looks pretty decent, mostly just all black once again, but the little pistol there that can go into the thigh holster down there. Then we get his main gun, which is just like a submachine gun. I like the like folded out stock there on it, has a magazine of course that you can take out, and a silencer on the front as well that you can take off. Probably could put that on the pistol as well with the design there. So just this gun, so let's go and just stick it into his hand. Then he comes with some other accessories. We won't be able to see too much just because it's so small, but we get an RC car, so maybe like a bomb or something on there that he can control and drive around. And it does also come with a control for it, so we have the control there that we can put into his hand. Now it's cool with this RC car, obviously you can put it on the table, the wheels spin and stuff, so you can sort of drive it around, but it does also have this design on the bottom of it there, or the back of it, that can attach onto his backpack as well, so it can slide on there and stick onto it, so that is pretty cool. And then he does also have the little pegs off the side. I'll show you what the bottom ones are for, but the one on the side here you can put his gun into, so it slides into the trigger area, so you can just slide that in there and store it on his backpack as well. So again, it's a thing we can store all the weapons, so it's cool he has that. I'll go ahead and put the remote into his hand as well. So there's the remote in his hand, so it just sits in there, so that's cool. And then we also get some landmines, so little mines you can throw down, so look pretty cool, just nice flat design, but they do have holes on the bottom, so those can go onto the backpack as well. So again, you can just put these on the ground, you don't have mines to attack somebody, but you can also store them on this backpack. So there they are stored on each side there. So again, cool that we can have all of accessories stored. Like I said, the only thing you can't really store is the remote control, but if you just put it into his hand, it sticks just fine. I don't think there's anywhere on his side or anything that you can stick it on, so you just have to have it in his hand. But there we've got Firefly all kitted out, which looks pretty cool. And we can bring in that older Firefly, so this is what the old one looked like. Again, I think it was like a Cobra Island or something. This one was cool because he had this little drone, so instead of the RC car, he has this drone instead, but still cool backpack design. And then just overall looks pretty cool. I like how he's got all the bomb gear and stuff. We'll see pretty similar with an upcoming figure, but yeah, I do like this one. I don't think the goggles help, so I'd probably take the goggles off because I don't think they look too good on him, or just see if I can get him sitting on top of his head or something, because I don't like that look too much. But I think overall with that, it looks pretty cool with the remote control car and the mines and all that. It is pretty cool overall for Firefly. And next up we have a Crimson Viper, which again, we've had the Vipers multiple times, but Crimson this time, so it's going to be mostly all red. But they're Cobra's infantry soldiers with additional training and better equipment, but the Crimson especially confess their loyalty to Baroness, Tomax, and Zaymont, and are hand-selected for their superior skills and ruthless efficiency. So again, we've had them before, so it looks good, pretty much exactly the same. So they have the helmet design with the all-silver visor and the red helmet. That looks pretty stupid. Like, I think the lower half looks pretty cool, like coming around to the side, but just the overall shape and everything looks pretty stupid on them. And then they're in the all red outfits, so they're pretty much all red jumpsuits. I love how they have the big chest plate on here with all sorts of designs. Of course, the silver Cobra logo, and then again all red with the pockets all the way around, so big vest piece on them. Some guards there on their forearms that look pretty nice. A thigh holster there on the side with some pockets built onto the figure, and we get some padding going down to the boots there in black as well, of course, with red everywhere else. So again, nothing really new or special there that we haven't really seen before, just in all red this time. But accessory wise, we get pretty much the exact same things as before. So first we get a set of goggles. So we have goggles we can put onto the head. Again, usually they're kind of hard to get on. You can put them all the way down to be on the visor, which is kind of weird, but we usually just try and sit them up on the head. So there's the goggles on there. We do also get a bandana as well. So a blue bandana this time, so we can put this around his neck. So there he's got the bandana. So it just adds a little bit of pop of color there with the blue against all the red. Then we get his backpack that I think is going to be pretty much the same as all the others, just in gray this time. So we have like a whitish gray, then a darker gray for the rest of the bag, black rope, black Cobra logo, some red down the center, and overall just looks like the backpack pretty much the same that will stick into his back. So there, it's on his back there. And then he comes with some guns. So first we get the pistol, so an all gray pistol. Again, I think we've seen this before, just in a different color, so I just put that in his thigh holster there. And then he comes with the gun. Again, we've seen this gun before as well, just in this lighter gray color with the magazine that does come out, so you can take it out if you want there, but we'll just go and stick this into his hand. So there's the gun in his hand, and since he does have the hinge up and down on the left, I went ahead and put it in his left hand, since that would seem to be his more dominant hand. So that looks pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not too excited about this since we've had it multiple times, so just in red this time isn't all that exciting. And it's kind of disappointing though, just how dark it is with it being the Crimson. It's like a darker red for this. Like, I think the legs look a little bit better, but overall it's just, relatively the same red, and so I wish it'd just be more of a normal red instead of this darker red. But now that we have this, we can add them in with the rest of the Vipers. So there's all our Vipers now. So we have our Crimson one in the center, we have the Cobra Island, and then our normal regular Viper on this end here. Then we got the Python Patrol and the Viper Officer over here. So just a wide variety with 5 different types of Vipers now. So again, like I said, not exciting since we've had them 4 times already before. And next up we have Lowlight, which is Cooper McBride, one of the sneakiest members of the Joes that can make moves in the night undetected because darkness is where he reigns. As a child, he was afraid of the dark until a hunting trip where he got lost and was found 3 weeks later with only a flashlight, a rifle, and a smile on his face. And he has especially as a marksman and an instructor for the G.I. Joes. So he looks pretty cool here. Again, relatively basic character, like doesn't look all too like unique or anything. Still has just like the basic human face, so nothing too exciting there, but I do like how he's got the like beanie or hat on his head with his curly blonde hair there in the back, so kind of like stands out a little bit there. And then mostly all in gray once again, so just kind of boring gray, but he does have a touch of red up here on his shoulder. And then I like all the like the pockets and like straps there on his outfit with the strap come around holding on some grenades. And then there's some like darker grayish color there like in different areas running throughout his outfit, belt around the waist, black gloves on his hands, thigh holsters on each side, and then the gray runs down where it continues to that darker gray into the boots down there on his feet. So like I said, not a whole lot exciting to him, again, especially just being mostly all gray, but I think his accessories are pretty cool. So for movements, we get the head that'll twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far. So decent once again. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate around. We got a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that pretty stiff on him, it feels like, but can bend up that far, which isn't bad. We get the wrist that'll twist around and hinge up and down for this ham. Then we go to the ab crunch there in the middle, so crunch forward and crunch back, so pretty decent crunching, as well as crunching and twist at the waist a little. Then we go to the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side, can do the splits with those drop down hips, thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, again pretty stiff but that far. Then we also get a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So same movements as usual once again. But for accessories, first we get a set of goggles for him. So these are just kind of your basic goggles with a red lens on them, so I'm not sure if they do anything particular, maybe help him see at night, since it said he liked to sneak around and belong in the night, but he doesn't have night vision goggles or anything, but we can just put these around his head. So there are those goggles on him. He also comes with a backpack, pretty basic backpack, just mostly in a dark gray color. Again, has a peg so you can store a weapon and everything, so that's pretty cool. We can take and peg this into his back, although it does seem I'm having issues with this peg like that. It's too fat or something, so it's hard to get it in, so unfortunately it doesn't really go all the way in there, but as long as it stays on his back, that's all that matters. Then we go to some weapons. So first we get a knife, so we have this knife, again a really thick blade on it, so not as intimidating, but we get that thick blade knife that can go into the holster here on his right thigh. As I mentioned, he is a marksman, so he works with snipers a lot, so he does also come with this wind meter as well. So he has this so he can detect the wind to adjust how he needs to shoot, but we just get this black device. You can see it's got buttons and a little detector there up top, so that's pretty cool. And this can go onto his thigh over here, so we just take and slide that down in there, so he's got his wind meter. Then we get to his first gun, so we get this gun, which is kind of weird looking to me. I guess it's like a little submachine gun of some sort, but it looks pretty cool. It has a little grip up in the front, has this extended magazine that you can take out and obviously slide back up in there. So just a small little gun like this that we can put into his hands. So there's that small gun in his hands. That overall looks pretty cool, but as I mentioned, he is a sniper, and so he does come with a cool accessory of this carrying bag that's going to have a sniper rifle in it. So we get this bag that does also have a peg, so we can stick it onto his back, and as you see, it has a hole there, so we then can also put the backpack into it, so that's pretty cool. Has the handle there to carry it, and just overall looks like a nice padded bag that we can open up, and it will have the sniper rifle in it, so it's pretty cool. It's got the sniper rifle. We do have a silencer, a scope, and a bipod on it as well, so we can just put all of this together, which will be cool. So there's the sniper all put together, which looks pretty cool. So we have the silencer on the front, the bipod there in the middle. Of course, you can fold it up if you want. Scope up top. This does also have the magazine that can come out, and so a small little thing there to hold on to, a nice stock on it as well. So all of that looks pretty cool. So let's try and put this into his hand. So there's the gun with low light. Now, of course, hard to really get him posed up with a sniper rifle. They don't work out too well, but there he's got the sniper rifle, and then we got the gun holder, and then his backpack there as well. So kind of big on his back, and it weighs him down a lot, so you got to be careful with that. And I went ahead and just stored that gun there as well, so now he has everything stored on him as well, so that all works out. So low light once again with the sniper rifle and that carrying case for it all works out pretty well. It's cool to have all that can fit into the case, so that is pretty dang cool as well for low light. So he looks awesome. And next up we have Grunt, whose real name is Robert Graves. He graduated in the top 10 of his class from advanced infantry training with specialty in infantry small arms armor and artillery coordinator. So he looks pretty cool, but as I mentioned, it just kind of seems to be like a low-level grunt, as his name says. So he comes with a helmet you can put on and just kind of make him like a generic army soldier. So overall, I think he looks pretty cool. So mostly just all in green, which would fit for that sort of level. And I think looks relatively nice. So we got his face, which, you know, just looks sort of generic. Not the best looking faces. The faces aren't horrible like they were in the past with like that Falcon, but I still don't think they're like the best. Like this sort of version, I don't think looks relatively that good, but you know, it's better than that Falcon. But then he's got the military haircut, so a little bit longer hair on top, shaved on the side, so that looks pretty decent. And then he's got a chest vest on here, so he's got like a knife holder up here, of course that thing there on the side, a green shirt underneath, so I love the darker green like pads on the side and stuff, and the elbows, that looks pretty cool. And then goes down to the pants with the green pants, thigh holsters, or at least pocket things there on his side, a little holster there up on his hip, and then green all the way down to the boots that are mostly brown but have green in the center and little straps around there. So overall, I think he looks relatively decent with just all being green and brown. So again, he's just a pretty basic soldier, but we'll do movements, so his head can twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far. So again, pretty much the same movements there. The shoulders come up to 90 with that butterfly back and forth and rotate around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far, which isn't bad, almost all the way up on itself. Wrist will twist around, and this one has the hinge back and forth for him. Then we get the ab crunch, so he can crunch back and forth. You can see that there, so crunch back and forth there, and then crunch at the waist and twist all the way around. The hips will come up to 90 and out to the side due to splits with the drop down hips. Pretty stiff on him, but thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint, which is real stiff, so it's hard to get this one to move. So I can get it bend up that far, which is pretty much to kick his butt. If you force it, he can kick it there, so that's pretty good. Just real stiff in this leg for some reason. Then we have a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So a bit of stiffness in some of the joints, but overall works. But for accessories, first we get a helmet we can put on him. So we have just a generic army helmet here, which looks pretty cool, pretty decent. Love like the design and everything. So with this, we can just take and slide it onto his head. So there he's got the helmet on, and I like that design. But we do also get a helmet here for like the steel core helmet, just in the green, so you can switch this out if you want, just to make him a generic soldier, part of the steel core. So that's why I said, you know, you can just sort of make him like an army builder, although he does have his name tag there, so it's got Graves there, so you'd have to worry about that. But you could just take this vest off if you want, I guess. But I really like him with this helmet on there, so that's of course how I'll be using it to make it our Grunt figure. Then he comes with a backpack as well, so just a small little backpack for him, nothing much to it, but we'll put this in his back, so it just hangs on the back there. For weapons, we get a knife, so we have this knife here, again a real thick blade, but we can stick it into this holster here, so you can just pull it out quickly there off of his chest. Oh, and by the way, on his chest he does also have this team awareness device, so just this little pad you can pull down, so it just kind of shows where people are and things around him. So you have that little device that you can mess with and have him looking at as well. Then he also comes with a pistol, so a pistol here in black, which looks pretty nice, a nice looking pistol that we can put into the thigh holster here over here on the left, so slides right in there. He does also come with a magazine, so we have this extra magazine we could put into a gun, but he does also have this little storage area back here, so of course his backpack's going to be in the way, but you can stick it down inside this little pocket here, so it'll store on his back just like that. And then finally comes with two guns. Now for us, unfortunately, it's the exact same gun. The only difference is one has green paint on it and the other one's all black, but he was supposed to come with two different guns that looked relatively the same, but they are supposed to be different. Like I know this one has a scope, and then this other gun's supposed to be the gun that can hold that magazine, but with this, neither of them hold that magazine, so now we have the magazine for no reason with these guns. But I'll at least give him this gun. I'll put this one in his hands with the green, and there again with the hand design, he's left-handed, so I got it in his left hand there. And then with that other gun, I guess we'll just take and stick it onto his backpack, so he has these pegs on each side so you can store both the guns. But I guess we'll just take and store this one since that's our extra one that doesn't fit with him. So it stinks we didn't get the proper gun there. It's just, you know, very minor differences, but don't really care too much about it. But I think overall he looks pretty cool there just with that design. I think, you know, he does look like the generic army soldier, but like I said, we do also get that steel core head we could switch out as well if we wanted to make him more generic. But I think overall it looks cool there for Grunt. And our last figure today is Tripwire, whose real name is Tormund Skoog, and he dropped out of the Naval Base High School to join a Zen monastery to ponder the meaning of life, but was expelled for breaking too many dishes because he was extremely clumsy. So he joined the army at 19, where he received a spiritual awakening on the grenade range, and he started specializing in explosive ordnance disposal and demolitions, and has a bomb-sniffing rat named Aspera, and uses the robot Mechlod, which is mobile armored control level for explosive ordnance ordnance disposal. So that all sounds pretty cool here, but he's just like a bomb specialist, bomb disposal. So he's going to be wearing a bunch of armor, to protect him from that, and then come with cool accessories to go along with it. But overall, looks pretty decent. So there's his face, looks, relatively good. Looks a little bit better than the Graves face, but there's nice red hair again with the military haircut. Looks pretty decent with the green outfit underneath. So green pretty much from head to toe there with a lot of gray. So he does have all this like bomb vest and stuff. So nice big padded vest that covers him from neck down to crotch. Got some padding up on his shoulders and forearms there with the gloves. Padding on his thighs there with the holster. You see some knee pads in green there with the pants, and then gray boots on his feet. So again, not a whole lot to him, just a lot of gray once again, but comes with some pretty cool accessories. But movement wise, we get the head that'll twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far. So not as much movement. It feels pretty stiff there in the neck, but it is moving back and forth. We get the shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth and can twist all the way around. We get a bicep twist in there and the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so pretty much all the way up on itself, with the wrist that'll twist all the way around and hinge up and down. Then we go to the ab crunch. I assume there's an ab crunch and stuff in here with all this vest on. It's hard to really tell. Of course, we can undo it, but I'll just do that later. But it crunches back and forth and can twist around a little as well. Then we get the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side. Again, those drop down hips, thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, so not too bad. We get a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So again, pretty much same movements, but with like his bomb vest, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on in there. But like I said, we will be switching that out. But for accessories, we do get outfits to switch out to make him either light or heavy armored. So I think he's mostly heavy armored here. So with that, we do have some accessory pieces. Like we have this neck stuff. So we have this one and this one. So I assume this one would be more of the light and this would be the heavy. Now I'm not exactly sure how this goes on him. If you just sort of sit him on him, I know sometimes it goes on like this just to protect most of his neck, especially if he's going to be exploding stuff, or maybe put around this way. Yeah, that seems way too much there. So you can put it around like this. And like I said, we do have both of them, so you can have a lighter one there as well. So you can pick either one. But since, like I said, it seems like he's got more of the heavy on here, we'll just go ahead with the heavy one. And with this, we do also have a heavy helmet, so we can put this down on him. So I assume it just slides down on him and got to get it in here. So there's the collar around his neck with that helmet. So very thick helmet. So it's got a nice visor piece there. Of course, the device and stuff here on the back. I'm not sure what all this stuff does, but again, to help protect him from setting off explosives safely. So again, he's all kitted out there for, like I said, I believe this is the heavy armor version. And then as I sort of showed, we do get the light armor as well. So you can take that helmet and collar piece off, maybe stick on this other collar piece. Again, I'm not sure how they go on exactly. You can just put it on his neck like that. And then we do also get this lighter helmet, so it's not as protected, but it's still a helmet design that we can put on him. So there on the collar and neck, he has the lighter. And then we do also have a lighter vest as well that we can switch out. It doesn't like cover all the way down to his crotch, and you can just undo this from the sides and slide it off him. So there he has what I assume to be the lighter vest as well, because it doesn't seem to be as thick in his pad and stuff. So it seems a little bit lighter, so I assume that was the lighter. And then I assume you can also take these pieces like off his forearms and off his thighs and stuff as well if you want to make him even lighter. So that could help as well to get him some better movements. But that's all pretty cool that he has all the different armor pieces you can switch out there. Then we get his backpack. So we have his backpack design, which is pretty cool. So we have like this sort of green stuff up top. I'm not sure what all this stuff does. And then a thing in the middle that I'll come back that I'll show you, a little holder here over his side, so probably for his weapon and everything. So we'll go and take this and put it into his back. So he has the hole here on the back. So it just sticks on his back just like that. We get his first weapon of a pistol. So we have this pistol here, it looks just like your normal pistol that will stick into the thigh holster. And then we get his, I was going to call it a weapon, but it's actually a minesweeper to be able to find mines. So it looks pretty cool. So of course you put your arm down in here and grab onto the handle, and we have the detector here at the bottom. So that looks pretty cool. So we have all this, and as you see, it has this little peg up top that has a little tube piecing that we can click on there, and then it actually attaches to the backpack right in here. So I'll go and attach this and get this into his hand. So there he's got the minesweeper in his hand. Of course, I can't really get it to sit him properly with this piece on the back here, probably just because of the tubing being too stiff, but you can at least get it in his hand like that. So now you can be sweeping it along to try and detect mines. So it's cool that he's got that as well. And speaking of mines, we do get some mines as well. So we have these, at least I assume these are mines. They look like mines and everything. And as you see, they have little pegs there on the back. So with this, we can take and actually stick these into his backpack. So I don't really sure what they do, like what the purpose is, but you can take and stick them into this section here on his back. So they just fit right in there and sort of store back in there. You can only store one at a time though. But again, not really sure what the point of storing them back there is, like what the whole deal is or anything, but you can at least store those, so you do have an extra mine you could like lay somewhere. We also get his pet rat of Aspera, which is just a bomb sniffing rat, so pretty fun that we get the rat as well. So just a fun little figure we can like take and maybe stick up on his shoulder or something. Not exactly sure what you do with it, but there he's just kind of stuck on the shoulder. And then he also comes with the Miklada, as I said, which is the mobile armor control lever for explosive ordnance disposal. So just a little like drone thing that can go out, and it has an arm here that can sort of reach out and pick up mines, so you know, to safely dispose them. So it's cool. We have like lever arms here that can move around. You can like pick up mines with the little hand there. This moves back and forth and can twist around as well. So there's a little bit of movement to it, but it's just another device, you know, that you can sort of control and have it go out and pick up mines, which is pretty cool that he comes with that as well. And for that, he also comes with a remote control, so just a remote control panel to be able to control that, so we can maybe try and stick this in his other hand. So there he can be checking for mines with the Miklada use and everything. And so far I think it's pretty cool. It's something you definitely have to mess around with to be able to get in like the best position to be able to like look like he's actually doing some stuff. But it's cool. He does come with all the accessories, you know, the little drone, the extra mines, all the additional bomb gear. So again, if you want to have him either heavy or light armored, you have those different options. So very cool to have all this that come with Tripwire. Well, that's it for our G.I. Joe Classified Series Wave 14 figures, where we had a lot of cool figures. Like I said, I feel they're not all as like special or unique as some figures in the past have been. They're all just pretty much generic soldiers and all just come with guns and stuff, so not a whole lot of uniqueness to them. But in this, we got Tunnel Rat, Low Light, Firefly, Crimson Viper, Grunt, and Tripwire, which I do like Tripwire a lot just because he comes with a lot more different accessories, so Tripwire does stand out compared to all the others. But I like them a lot. They're not bad figures or anything. I do like seeing them here, how you see like Tunnel Rat's shorter than the other characters, so I do like his smaller stature being shown. But I do like all the figures. Like I said, they're just not as interesting just because they all seem to be more generic soldiers. So this wave isn't as interesting to me as some of the others have been, but still all really cool figures with awesome accessories. So let me know what you thought of this wave down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But and thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.